question we're exploring is, should drones be banned from private use?
Our thesis is drones should be banned from private use because, well, it's mostly because of national security, privacy issues, and interference with commercial airlines. And throughout this, collaborative essay, we will expand upon it. Okay, so now we're going into statistics. The statistics is just random kind of facts I found about drones, and I thought you would find them interesting, and I kind of put them in here just from all the articles I read. So the first one is sales of drones. Are expected to grow from 2.5 million to 7 million in 2020. So that's really good for the drone industry, and it looks like there will probably be more regulations because of the expanding market of drones. The next thing I would like to talk about is U.S. National Park Service plans on banning drones from their parks. And that's like, there's a lot of acreage involving like national parks and stuff like that. Probably about, I think I read in the article, 85 million? Like, I don't know how much. I don't honestly remember. It's 85 something. But I know that's a lot of land. It's going to be a lot of land that the drones are going to be banned in. And that's like probably going to hurt some of the drone hobbyists, and they're not going to like that. And by 2019, there will be an estimated 8,000 civilian drones in the U.S. Now, the FAA did that, but in some of the other articles I read, there was 10 to 12,000 estimated by 2019 or 2020, some years around there. But I got it from the FAA because of it's a government site, and they collect huge amounts of data, and they really research. They really try hard to research, and they're credible. That's the reason why I took the FAA's statement kind of about the drones, or the research about the drones, I should say. And the next thing we went into was the primary research. So, should drones be banned from private use? 70.6% said yes in our surveys, and 29.4% said no. And the top reasons why they said yes is because there's weapons on them, there's privacy issues, and there's national security. The three pretty much topics we're already covering. Because, well, we made that a choice on our survey, but we also added in other, such as, like, somebody put all of the above, interference with airplanes, but that's the same thing as interference with commercial airplanes. Damage to airplanes, can affect airplanes. Like, basically, it's all about airplanes. I think they're just thinking more high, because drones are sometimes high up in the sky, and they're thinking they can hurt airplanes. So, they just left that there, and, we rolled with it. We really liked that people were interacting, though, with our survey and taking it well, and they're loving everything we're doing with our survey, because they would even message us and ask us about things. And the next thing we're going to talk about is national security. So for national security, what I did was I read an article on CNN, actually, about drones and how this one teenager in, I believe it was, what state was it? It's on here, I'm almost sure. Connecticut. Okay, Connecticut. I'm sorry. But basically what I read was he put a flamethrower, which I watched the video, and he put a gun on his drone, which is very interesting. We have the gun one at the end. The flamethrower was a bit too long. I didn't know how to exactly trim it, so I didn't. But, I wanted to at least stick one in so you could see what I was talking about. And we will have a conversation, me and Kevin will have a conversation about that at the end. But basically what happened was he did those things. He put the gun, he put the flamethrower on, and he did those things. And Connecticut was all upset about it, but they realized they had no laws and it wasn't illegal. So now, they're kind of in a situation where they want to ban that, but they also actually want to ban police surveillance. Well, not police surveillance, but police drones specifically also in the legislation, which I read on the article, but I did not stick on here, but I just read that in the article. I found that to be interesting. And drones are already banned in 3 states, actually. Oregon, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, which I think Ohio and all other states, honestly, should be added to that list. And it's just really interesting what's happening. It's, this is crazy that the weapons are, being attached to the drones. And the next thing I would like to talk about, actually, is the White House being targeted. It wasn't necessarily the White House being targeted, but it was the White House. So basically, around, I can't remember what Obama was doing. I think, was it the Bin Laden raids? I don't remember. But a drone crashed the White House lawn about 3 a.m. on some random, like, kind of Saturday, I'm pretty sure. And a federal agent, he was part of the National Geopanical Intelligence Agency. Well, it's basically just an intelligence agency, at least as far as I know. I mean, I don't know much about what he actually did. I did not research the government agency. But what happened is it bypassed the security protocols and stuff like that of the Secret Service. They thought they saw something, but they weren't sure. And eventually their drone crashed, and they went out in the morning and saw it and got it. And the government agent, of course, stepped up and said, "Oh, I did it." So, I mean, that was a pretty interesting article, actually. And then illegal care drops, like illegal supply drops or whatever you want to call it. So basically, what happened was Mansfield Prison, local around here, actually. I'm surprised I found this. Had 144.5 grams of tobacco, 65.4 grams of marijuana, and 6.6 grams of heroin. And it dropped it in a prison yard. A fight broke out in the yard, and 130 people pretty much got in a fight. But by the end, no one got hurt. Just like a bunch of bumps and bruises, which is very surprising, actually. So I will hand over the mic to Kevin.
Now we're going to talk about privacy issues. The first point is paparazzi dissolving privacy. There has been multiple accounts of drones used to spy on celebrities. A prime example of this is Miley Cyrus recording a drone that was flying around her home. There has been increasing accounts of drones hovering over people's property. In some cases, people actually blow up or shoot down the drone, which has led to a court case legalizing people to shoot down drones in their property as well. Now as we head over to commercial drone invading privacy.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about commercial drones invading privacy. And basically what happened was, so a woman was in her room and she was undressed, of course, like as like the movies, like, you know, kind of tell. I mean, it usually happens in movies. But anyway, so basically what happened was a drone was like looking in at her and she freaked out, and now there's a bunch of court cases about it. But like there's that privacy rules haven't been really updated since the 1980s. So it's kind of like shaky on whether they're going to get what they want, which I'm guessing they will get what they want, which is justice, of course. But there's been a lot of cases, and it raised a lot of awareness because a lot of people have come out and talked about it. Like they straight up like said like, "Oh, this is terrible. Why isn't the U.S. doing anything about it?" And of course, Congress is deadlocked and all of that jazz. There's a lot of stuff going on of why this may not get fixed anytime soon. But hopefully it will, because I completely 100% agree with the woman being peeped on. I don't think she should, like, a drone should have that right or in any way, shape, or form.
Another point is interference with commercial airlines. So we start off with drone versus airlines in London. There was a British airline pilot that believed that he was hit by an unmanned aircraft while landing. Luckily, everyone was fine, as well as the plane. The British Airways hit by a drone was believed to be 17,100 feet in the air. Airprox board says there's about 23 reported close encounters from October 2015 to today, and 12 of those have had high chances of collision. The 23 alone were all in London. If you were to add up all the ones in America as well, that would be well over 100. 100 cases in which airplanes or airlines have had close encounters with another unmanned drone. Drones threatening JFK Airport, New York. In New York, two airliners came about 100 feet to colliding with another drone, which is illegal under FAA guidelines that a drone or any unmanned aircraft be within 5 miles of an airport without notifying the air traffic control. So they're already breaking the law. But the actual threat comes in where the drone can hit the plane either in the cockpit window, which would could injure a pilot and cause harm on him and cause to lose control of the plane. Another problem would be if the drone were to go into the engine and cause it to explode or cause it to function. Believes there's more threats though. The threat that a drone could be 3D printed with explosive materials that could cause that if they were to hit a plane, could cause which would not only harm commercial airlines but also cause an uproar in national security threats as well. FAA guidelines on drones. They're very basic. Drones can't go above 400 feet. They have to notify airports before entering zones, and they have to be 5 miles away. They cannot fly around stadiums or people, and they are to remain well and clear of and do not interfere with manned aircraft operations, which is the most occurring regulation that's been broken. As we look at the appendix, our first graph shows the ratio of people that said they do approve of drone strikes and those that don't. 73.5% agreed with drone strikes, although they don't agree with weapons on drones, but that's because they don't agree with weapons and drones for domestic use. Also, throughout the survey, there was a wide range of ages that filled out the survey, which makes it a little bit more reliable and more compact. Those who said no, the main reason they said that drones shouldn't be banned is they said that there's just a hobby, but those hobbies can transfer in and actually can interfere with other people's privacy.
So now we are on the final part of the appendix, and we are watching a video with a drone carrying a gun. And this really ties in with our project because of the national security. We're basically going back to the first part of our CMP project, our multimedia project, of course, and we're going back and we're looking at what actually, a visual example, honestly, of what shooting a gun with a drone or shooting a flamethrower with a drone really looks like. I mean, there's no flamethrower. We didn't throw that one in, but we put the one with the gun in. What are your opinions on this video, Kevin?
I believe that this is a perfect example of how dangerous drones can be and how there should be more regulations on it, so that these things can't be just freely expressed by people just to randomly put a gun on a drone and then blow someone's head up.
Yeah. So basically, in summary, what our document basically is our documents, well, our, not document, I should say, but CMP project was basically about drones should be banned from private use because of national security, privacy issues, and interference with commercial airlines. And I really think we truthfully covered all of that. I mean, throughout this project, we really talked about, we went really in depth with the drones and how they should be banned with private use, of course, the national security, privacy, and commercial airlines. For national security, we used weapons, White House being targeted, or the drone ending up at the White House, illegal supply drops, or care drops, or whatever you really want to call the drugs dropping. We went through the privacy issues and the paparazzi, commercial drones invading privacy, interference with commercial airlines. That's another big topic we covered, with drone versus the airlines in London, or just really anywhere else, because honestly, you could probably look up 1,000 articles. I know, and lately in the news, I've been watching CNN or whatever, there's been at least 10 times, at least in the past couple of months, it feels like, that drones have really interfered with commercial airlines. The drones in the JFK airport, they're watching over there. And then we covered the FAA guidelines and how they got stricter. But personally, not just personally, but to summarize it, we really feel like there should be just a ban on privatized drones. It looks like that's about it for our project, honestly, because now we're at the bibliography. But Kevin, do you have anything else to say?
This has been Steve Edgehouse, Winky Face 2.0, reduced and revised. Signing out.